What is going on, you guys? It is Dog Cost Crypto here with Pulsechain to Richard Hart Maximalist, man. Man, what is up, man? Damn, man. Right again, sir, man. Top G free under house arrest. I had a lot of people doubting me on that one, man, but market timing was right again. But with that, man, let's get straight to business, man. Crypto Mindset course, Q2 is coming April 21st. And it's only going to be available for 5 days. Please leave your email address right there in that box right there. Click to sign up, and you'll be notified as soon as it goes live. It is only going to be 5 days. That's it. So from that Friday to Tuesday at midnight Pacific Standard Time, and that's it. You can't get in. It's the first course we've done in 6 months, and I'm happy to report all the guys who took the last one. We ended up doing a mega course, which we fused quarter four and quarter one together. I'm happy to say that basically everybody in that course is somewhere between a 2 to 5 times in profit from that course, off the back of basically buying the lows in Ethereum. I mean, when we were on Fresh and Fit, pretty much very close to the lows right there, or to the lows. So I'm happy to report, we got a lot of great people from the Red Pill to buy all-time lows on Hex, Ethereum, BTC. I mean, just name all your favorite coins, all your favorite shit coins. We got the lows on it. So join up or stay poor. Just facts, man. Just facts. But hey, today I'm joined by a really special guest, man. I've been on this man's channel multiple times. He's been a great, host, as well as he has taken a very interesting angle when it comes to his YouTube career. He is a Richard Hart maximalist, man. So I'm joined by Max, man. What's up, G?
Good to see you. Good to see you again. Yeah, it's always good to be on stage with you. And yeah, I am the Richard Hart maximalist. I think, and you mentioned in the green room, I may be the first one. I didn't even think about it, but I could be the first one that is named that, or the branding is around that. That's actually streaming. So yeah, that's cool. I learned that myself today. I didn't even realize it.
So what entails being a Richard Hart maximalist? Like, where's the line? Like, at what point do I cross and it's haram?
Yeah, I always start with, it's not just about his products. I'm not a Hex maxi, I'm not a Pulsechain maxi or Pulsex, none of that. I start with his ideals. So, when I first came across Richard 6 years ago now, early 2017, somewhere through there, I just, fell in love with his content, his self-development stuff, sci-vive, all those things, all these ideals that he stands for and things he wants to do in the world. And then it was perfect timing because, okay, now I got kind of this passive mentor, somebody I can follow and learn a lot about crypto from. And then so it starts with that, his ideals, and then it's not like I don't like other projects on the ecosystem. There's a lot of cool stuff being built on Pulsechain
Right.
and being built around Hex. So I love a lot of those stuff that kind of help the blue chips, help Hex, help Pulsechain, Pulsex, all that.
Got you. So if I bought Zen, would you not be my friend anymore? No.
So yeah, we kind of talked about that one of the streams as well. It's one that I'm just interested in this ecosystem and the products he creates, and that keeps me away from a lot of the troublesome ones, or even some of the games too. That's fine too. But I've picked my horse. This is my area. This is the place I want to excel. And being mission driven, that's very important to me. So that's what I like to stick to.
Right. And let me just put this on record right now. We didn't miss any gains. Let me tell you that much. If you had bought,
gains seem to be fine around here, I think.
Yeah, the gains are plenty. We ain't worried about gains over here in Hexland and Hexicarico right here. But that is really interesting. And I think the reason I've heard people say that they're like, oh yeah, I'm like a Richard Hart maximalist. One person I have heard that and like it has been true to that is, I would say, maybe like Matty Allen. Matty Allen's been really cool about that. But I've heard a lot of people say that and not actually, like, as soon as you get an airdrop or a new token comes out or something that's kind of Hex-ish related, they kind of abandon that basically. So good on you, man. That's really cool, man. But tell me like, for my guests and stuff who maybe hasn't heard of you and stuff, like, how did you get started on all this? Like, when did you were you in Hex from the beginning, or did you jump in when, like, around the sacrifice phases? Like, what's your story?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's like I mentioned, got into crypto. I got into crypto 2016. Found Richard thankfully around 2017, and back then it was just he was the Bitcoin maxi. Actually, I was at a party and somebody was saying, "Hey, have you heard of Richard Hart? He keeps bad mouthing Ethereum, says it's full of this attack surface stuff, all that." And I'm
That's a
like,
good party,
"Eh."
man.
Yeah, it turned out well. It turned out well.
Man.
Yeah, that's at least one crypto guy there, and I'm like, yeah, Ethereum seems fine. Coming from like a dev type background, big tech, that sort of stuff. Like I could kind of wrap my head around how this stuff's supposed to work. And back then I was like, Ethereum seems okay, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'll see what he has to say. Let me evaluate what he's talking about. And so I started watch a couple of his videos, went down the rabbit hole of the self-development stuff and Sci-Vive, and then thought, wow, this guy is super smart. I don't think he really has a lot of, leg to stand on Ethereum even back then, but that's okay. I don't need to agree with him on everything. Just, if he's right a lot about other stuff, then I can learn from him. So then I just started following him, consuming all the content, and I come across somebody I like, I just start consuming all their stuff. Naval Ravikant, Alex Hormozi, Richard Hart, those three guys. It's like everything I can watch and find, I'll do, because that's how, I can kind of soak up that kind of wisdom and make myself better in a lot of ways. So that was back when he started talking about CFD token and that whole thing.
Yep.
And like I've been following for a long time. If you know what CFD token is, or go.hex.win, all that was kind of the cascading thing. And then after that, he's like, okay, I'm going to do Bitcoin Hex, this blockchain CD thing. And I thought, okay, he doesn't really have a track record. I don't know, he's smart and all this stuff, but he's not really, is he a founder? I don't know. So I was with him the whole time, still watching all the streams, still participating. So yeah, day one, everything, as you can imagine. And when Hex did those lows and did those highs, I was like, all right, this stuff is real. This stuff is real. So yeah, been with him since the beginning. My beginning being 2017ish, when he started, when he only had a few thousand followers back then. Now he's working on a mill. He'll be there before it's over with.
Damn, certified OG, man. I think I pretty much have the same story. Legitimately, like 2016 in crypto. Found Richard in 2017. Yeah, like the whole thing.
Wow.
That's hilarious, dude. That's cool,
Yeah.
dude. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, I think I didn't. I think I found him. I didn't have anybody tell me about him. I just found out about him basically from. It may have been like. I didn't find him when he was doing all the self help stuff. I found him once he started doing like a crypto interview. I think it may have been what's his name?
Everyone says Roger Ver. That's like a big popular one, but
It was the one before Roger. I just can't remember the
Max Kaiser.
maybe it was Max Kaiser or something. Yeah, he interviewed somebody. Like it was. I know it wasn't because I was part of the community at that point, and then obviously we're all laughing when he was like, the middle finger thing and all that stuff. Yeah, afterwards. But pretty interesting, man. But yeah, man. Shout out to the chat right now. I'm gonna answer this $5 super chat real quick. Nico FBA, just because this shit's hilarious. The Matrix was released March 31st, exactly when Top G was released. Yeah. Also, would you marry someone for money? Would they're willing to give me 30,000 in dry powder, bro? What? So tell me this right now: would you get married if this lady, let's just say some lady was gonna say, "Hey, I'll give you 30 racks right now. We'll get married." Would you marry her?
30 grand to get married?
Yeah.
No, that seems a little low, I think. I mean, I guess, can you get the annulment right after? Are we in
Is it,
Vegas? Is it easy? Like, there's a lot of
there's a
variables
lot.
here.
Yeah, man. 30,000 is an expensive wedding to invite crazy into your life. That's
Yeah, I think I may need like 100x that or something. I'm thinking some X's, some crypto gains on that one.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe a little bit more.
but you can inbox him at RH Maximalist on Twitter. But
Oh no, oh no, here they come. Here comes the DMs.
here comes the DMs, man. But all jokes aside and stuff like that. So I mean, let's get into like what's going on with Hex right now, right? I mean, how did the run up on Hex treat you?
Yeah, that was something that I was on stream when the Pulsechain testnet launched, and I didn't believe it. People were in the chat. Somebody was like, it's live now, and I remember typing to them, Richard will tweet it when it's live. Don't worry. Like all that. The one thing I replied to, I happened to be wrong, and then all of a sudden, just a shockwave of all the stuff coming through, and then I could believe it was live. And me, Axis, and Sloth were on there, and got to talk about it and see the green candles themselves go up like during the time. Amazing. So yeah, running up to that, pretty good. I gotta say, I got into liquidity providing a little bit recently as well. And before, I didn't think, I thought there were other ways to gain yield, and that was fun. I think the volatility with Hex price recently, and what may be here to come, will certainly benefit a lot of people who are looking to make fees, and looking to trade in certain ways as well. But I don't know. I don't look at the price as much. Like, I've been looking at it more since Pulsechain has been getting closer, but it's kind of one of those, delayed gratification. I always go back to that. I don't, I got my bag set already.
So do you focus more on the right? So because you got into Hex early on, right? Exactly. So Do you focus? So you focus more on the tech side versus what excites you the most about Pulsechain, basically? Because I know you've been messing around with the validators and stuff. So I mean, would you? I
Mhm.
mean, do you recommend people actually just become a validator when it goes live? I know it's like, because 3% yield sounds okay, but it's like, meh, you know, it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm coming to the degen world. I really do. Like 3%. Like I don't get out of bed for 2x. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I was talking to David Feeder last night about this. I had a great stream, and I asked him too, like, hey, like why would you be a validator? Like what is the case for? What is the case against? And we know now that Richard's talked about 3% APY for 40K validators. That may be an average. It may go up and down. Maybe if you get in early, there's some opportunity to make more APY. If you have more validators, you can kind of compound that way as well. So I think about the first thing that comes to mind too is a lot of people just can't be a validator because you need 32 million pulse. I think that's maybe a few $1,000s to be each one.
right,
A lot of people will make only sack $500, $1,000. A lot of people who are probably very intellectually curious and they want to do this type of stuff just can't be because they didn't pay for it. They don't have that much,
right,
whatever it may be. But yeah, I think that it's actually we don't have a lot of tools to make it easy these days either. So the one barrier is you got to have the money, you got to have the pulse, you got to have at least the testnet stuff for now.
mm,
Second barrier is the intellectual ability to actually use command line, know how to set this stuff up. A lot of people in the community are working on different scripts to make this stuff easier, but today you kind of got to be a blockchain like not expert, but you got to know what you're doing in a lot of different areas to actually understand how to do it, how to set it up. And then even then you'll run into issues back and forth. Like I had an issue with my validator that just got fixed yesterday, and now I'm starting to sync more and get closer to not being slashed all the time and all that. So
right.
a lot goes into it. You got to have the money, you got to have the expertise. But I think I'm trying to create some content, trying to create some code and all the stuff to make it easier. I know a lot of other people are as well. So it'll only be easier to be a validator. As far as making money, that's how much do you think PLS is going to go up? How many validators can you run? How many validators do you expect there to be? All those fluctuate for, is it actually worth your time? For
Right.
me, I want to support the community. So I never look at it as making money for that aspect. I look at it as, hey, like, I think it's cool. Why not do it? Why not help the network?
Right. No, I understand. Just it's a little more decentralized and everything like that, of course. But I mean, basically, let's just say the 3% yield. Richard actually ends up getting that. Basically, you would need Pulse change of 33x in order for you to basically off the yield to double your money, your initial starting capital or whatever, or whatever starting amount of maybe you have 100 million Pulse chain plus or something, whatever the bag is for that person, right? That's not bad. It's actually possible, actually. So like the 3% yield you're earning on that, if you ended up just wait, because I have in the next crypto mindset course, I'm gonna have almost 3 webinars just dedicated to the Hex ecosystem, and
Hmm.
I've got kind of like I've added some new things to it. Other things I've kind of changed my mind on, and other stuff has stayed exactly the same, just because pretty good. It's pretty good advice, but most people need to just sit tight. If you've sacked, you probably should be moving your coins around. Not until we really get some dollar values, and it's kind of like we have to let the in charting like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the waves and shit, right? You have to let the first cycle go through before you even attempt. I think where it's safer. It's never safe, but it's safer to do a you can do what we call like ratio trading or so than actual trading and everything like that to build bags up and stuff. But yeah. I mean, I'm always focusing on the money, of course. But I am I'm a hardcore Hexican. Obviously, I'm Hex Jesus, and I really do believe in the ecosystem, and I, do support it and stuff. So,
Well, that's another. I mean, just I'm not trying to plug myself too much, but
of
that's
course, of
another
course,
thing about my unique brand is I don't monetize my channel. I'm not a money maximalist, and I'm not nothing against people who do. Everybody needs to make money, all that, but that's something that I wanted to bring a unique brand. I wanted to bring a healthy form of RH maximalism. I don't want your money. I want to make my own money. I want to be my own self-made man, or even a greater man than I am today. So that's what I try to bring to. There may be ads on the channel. They ain't mine. I don't know anything about them, but I just don't want to. I don't know. I just want to keep the content as clean as I can. I don't do sponsorships, none of that. So that's something that, hey, if you want to be unique, if you want people to value your judgment and stuff, I mean, you got to be different than other people in some way. And I thought, okay, I don't need people's money. I'll just create content because I want to support the community. I want to have utility. Richard says, you need to have utility in the community if you want to help, and that's what made me stream in the first place. I want to get take my skills and help people with what I can.
Gotcha. No, that's really cool. I mean, the main reason I monetize the YouTube channel is just because it basically gets more views. I mean, it gets the word
Yeah.
out. Yeah, it's really. I mean, if I
Yep.
didn't have to, if that didn't matter, then I would pretty much turn the monetization off. There's really no point for the most
There's
part.
a trade-off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally I recognize that trade-off. I know that my channel grows slower. I recognize all that stuff. It's just yeah, it's one of those principles thing that, pragmatic libertarian. I have these other principles I hold to be true. And
Right.
again, you're killing it, man. There's a lot of streamers out there. Just I love what everyone's doing. I just that's
Yeah.
my brand, and that's why I choose to do it.
No, no, and I respect that, of course, but for me, right, it is like I create products and services for the crypto community, right, and been really successful at it and stuff like that. And there's just a lot of people kind of with this. I'm not saying this about you and stuff, but just a lot of people, even in the comment section, that have this real communistic sort of like everything should be free, man. Like, bro, man, you like give
Yeah.
me this, man. Like it's like this hippie bullshit that like this is has been a major problem in the hex community that Richard even himself addressed, saying this is a bunch of bullshit. And this is why, like Richard said, that me and what I mean, I think what's his name, Crypto Coffee actually had himself a hex course and stuff, and he's like, I think what Crypto Coffee and Dollar Cost Crypto are doing is really good for the community and stuff. He's like, I wish I charged for Sci-Vive. Because if you don't add a monetary value to some of your information, people just discard it and don't think much of it. And like I've heard him say this in person and on video and stuff, saying this to us when we were down in Miami. We met Richard Hart and stuff. He was like, I should have charged for Sci-Vive. People would have respected it more. If I charged $100 for that book or something like that, I don't need the fucking money, but it's just like people. Like, let me give you a little example. This me and Charlie used to say this a long time ago, but so we used to Charlie used to do consultations way back in the day for like $70. He's my business partner, and he used to do consultations for $70, and he used to get the worst fucking clients on the planet. Like didn't respect him at all. It was like it was terrible. And then as we increased our prices, we started getting people that actually respected our time, and then also on top of that were more serious, right? Now there's also like
Absolutely.
yeah, and that sort of thing. It's just weird how humans work like that, but there is this weird thing where like if they don't pay a pound of flesh for something, they don't respect it. And I bet you if we charged like $100 for the course, I mean, fucking, they wouldn't respect the information. I really think most people would have not even paid attention to it. Like it's weird how the brain works like that. But I mean, I've talked to Richard about this, and it's legitimate. It's like he's like, yeah, like I mean, I remember him saying multiple times, like, yeah, like I should have charged for Sci-Vive.
Yeah.
It would have hit way different.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, if you have goods and services out there that you want to get in crypto, absolutely charge for them. And yeah, make it a price people respect. For this, I treat it as a hobby. I don't treat it as a business. Just one last side note on that. And for Sci-Vive, good news. Hopefully, we've got Sci-Vive at an editor right now who's working on it. Maybe we get it in print this year. Maybe we at least get it in better shape, and then Richard gets to sell it and get that value that's been lacking the last 6 or 7 years since it's been out. So
Yeah. I think at some point, I think I mean, in a couple, I think maybe like the bear market of next cycle, I think that's when he's going to start focusing on Sci-Vive. I think if I had to
I
guesstimate,
hope so.
yeah, because I mean, there's too much stuff with Pulsechain for him to really go full on with that. But at some point, I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's how he's going to piss people off. He's like, "Why aren't you focusing on Hex, man? What about Pulsechain, man? Come on, man, PulseX, man. Well, like he's like spending all this money on like research and stuff for for life extension and shit. Why isn't he focusing on the fucking price and the token, bro? And like,
So selfish.
it's just I mean, like
Win Hex V2. Hex
yeah.
V2, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, XP. Yeah, when upgrade, man. Tokenomics ain't working anymore, man. Like, what's going on, dude? You know?
I've been clipping all kinds of his vintage videos. If anyone doesn't know, I got vintage videos coming out every week for the next 2 years. I just finished that
Really?
project. Yeah,
How do you do it? Are you clipping or like the short 15-minute clips, or is it the full video? How are you doing that?
so basically just went through probably 50 or 80 of his just old clips
Mm.
from 2017 until the last Hex conference in 2013. So vintage slash notable clips, and just went through. Some of them have timestamps, some of them don't. Went through the video, picked out interesting things I could find. Some of them are 3 minutes, some of them are 10 minutes, stuff like that. But there's so many funny ones too. And somebody asked about Hex V2. When's Hex V2? And he's like, let me tell you when it's coming out. It's here now. It's here now. Like all those amazing streams we remember.
Yeah.
As well as, I mean, I got them coming out. I had one come out today. He talked about ratio trading. I believe that's the one that came out today. and all that. So yeah, the channel. If I take a vacation for 2 years, at least if unless something changes, you'll get vintage RH clips at least once a week for the next until March 2025. They wouldn't let me schedule any farther out. I had more, but I had like 180 clips or something like that I
So
went through.
how long did it take to upload all that? God damn.
You're making me have nightmares again. I'm in the middle of doing. I'm questioning why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And then no, just push through, just do it.
Yeah.
It'll be cool. Just do it. And then yeah, it was a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of work, but
I, I'll,
it's I
I'll
think it'll be worth it.
I'll tell you this as a content creator: if you're not pushing content out, you'll be forgotten. It's kind of dark to say that, but it's true. It's like you have to, if you're not making noise, you will be forgotten and stuff. So I mean, just don't ever stop, basically. Yeah. I know, but it's true. It's like it takes a lot of effort to get the ball rolling, and it doesn't take that much to keep it like in motion and stuff like that. Now, if you want to go faster, of course, it's gonna take real effort, but like a lot of people can maintain their channels and do all kinds of. It's just like like you work so hard and then you just let it go. It's like it seems ridiculous and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. What was the phrase? I think it came from Naval Ravikant, another person
How to Get Rich
mentioned
series.
earlier.
Really great series.
Great book too.
Yeah.
If you the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, my favorite, probably my favorite book in the world. But anyways, he talks about the problem with getting on stage is you can never get off. He kind of says something like that, and it reminded me of what you said there. It's like, yeah, if you need to have consistency, you need to keep putting out content. I did live streams, I feel like every day except the weekend. I usually don't, but obviously today, special occasion, for the last like 3 or 4 weeks, sometimes double headers. And it's just like, sometimes I get so tired. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Just take a day or two off, relax, don't burn yourself out. But if you want to, if you want to grow the channel, whether you monetize or not, you gotta produce content, either live streams, short form clips, whatever it is. You gotta have value.
You know who really inspires me is the guys from Fresh and Fit, Myron and Fresh. They do so many freaking shows. I mean, when they stream, they literally stream 6 hours a day, right? They're doing either a Money Monday show or some sort of a guy show on. They have a special guest and stuff like live in studio, and then from there they end up having the after hour show with the girls and stuff on top of that. That's like 3 hours on top of that. So it's like between like 5 to 6 hours of content. Plus, as a YouTuber, there's prep work, and on top of that, they're running individual channels like Fedit and a Fresh Prince CEO channel and stuff like that with blockchain. So like, they're tired, bro. Like, I mean, like, not to like say like everything that's going on in the background, but like, they're working so hard. I mean, they're really tired and stuff like that. And so it's motivated me to even push harder and stuff like that, because that's just true. It's like, I will say this to you. Yesterday, I legitimately was so tired of streaming yesterday. I was so over it, bro. Like, yeah, I
saw
really
you yesterday on copies.
Yeah, I was on. That's what fucked me up is like those assholes. I will say that because they're my buddies. But those assholes like it was supposed to start an hour later, and then like magically like, oh, now I'm an hour late into that stream. Look at that, Latecoin Moses once again, right?
Yeah, I didn't see you, and then I came back an hour later, and DCC's there. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, and that's always a running joke, Latecoin Moses and stuff like that. Even like, but usually it's these old these. It's so crazy. These guys are so young and stuff still, and they're trying to like Miguel, I have to get to sleep before 5 p.m. in the afternoon, right? So like, pretty
amazing.
Pretty amazing. But those guys are really awesome and stuff. I mean, we're gonna try to do more of those streams and stuff. But like, legitimately, like it was me, Coffee, RG3, and Hexologist were like the first 4 Hex YouTubers and stuff like that. So we've been wanting to like just do a little content here and there, maybe like once a month do a stream together. But it's like, those are really solid dudes and stuff like that. So
people don't realize how much work it takes. I mean, that's one thing I try not to do. I try not to do streams or interviews where I'm like, oh, what do you want to talk about? I don't know what you want to talk about. It's like beforehand, scheduling work, there's thumbnails. I mean, of course, you can outsource a lot of stuff too. But then for me, I prep. Like I have a document, usually I have a document with a bunch of questions or topics. I do research. I try to make it a good conversation because it's not even worth my time to get on here for an hour or two if I'm not creating value. Like I don't want to just see myself talk. I just don't want to AMAs and stuff are fine, but that's the biggest thing. It's like new streamers and stuff. Just focus on value. Like is what you're doing and what you want to talk about actually moving the needle forward, or do you just want to make more content just to get a couple clicks and do clickbait? Like there's a difference between the two, and I think focus on value is how you actually like get people to respect you and grow and like have that develop that good judgment and stuff, and people come to you for when they need answers for stuff.
No, definitely. I mean, there's some good people doing like I think like Crypto Sloth is giving a lot of great value in the hedge round community and stuff like shout out to Sloth.
Hmm.
Access Live is doing some great stuff as well. I mean, dude, there's a lot of people out here doing great stuff. You as well. Gold Key with the Maximus DAO and team and stuff like that. Gee, I can't keep up with all the tokens anymore. God damn, it's a lot of tokens.
I tell them
But
they can create as many tokens as they want. They're that valuable. They're
yeah,
that important to
yeah,
your
yeah.
ecosystem. Just do whatever you want, guys. I love it.
Yeah, because I had a couple of DMs like Miguel, why do you hate them? I don't hate them at all. They're homies. Like, I met these guys in person. Like these are really good guys and stuff. Like I party with these guys anytime. It's for real. Like they're always invited. If they're in Vegas, there's always a seat right here for them. For real.
Yeah,
Open
I don't know how we
invitation
didn't
to
meet
them.
in Vegas. I don't know how we didn't meet in Vegas because I met them too,
Yeah.
and
Wait,
but
were
I
you at
didn't
the
meet you last
PulseCon?
time we were
The
in Vegas.
PulseCon thing?
Uh-huh. Hmm.
You didn't go to the Nagas
Somehow we
party?
didn't go to Nagas. I went to the Power City. I didn't go to Nagas. That must be
I
what
was at
happened
Power
then.
City too, bro. So we just missed each other, bro. I brought
I met like 100 people there. How did I miss you? That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
I came in, of course, like halfway through, of course, but with Rolo and stuff, and we were just backstage there where they were doing like the dressing room and stuff, and then we went backstage with like the House of
Hmm.
Pain and stuff. That shit was cool, man. Me and Rolo on stage, we went jump, jump, jump.
Dude,
That was
that was
sick.
amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty sick, dude. But yeah, shout out to Power City and stuff. Like that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of cool stuff. It's just that the whole thing now is just like when this thing launches, I want to see these projects actually launch their stuff. You know, Mintra, another thing, they did a really cool thing. Shout out to Freddie Quotes, threw a really cool party and stuff. But yeah, man.
Super fun. Yeah, it's so assuming you're going to Miami,
Mm, what's the date on it?
I want to say May 18th ish, somewhere through there.
Maybe by the skin of my teeth, but I'm probably gonna end up missing it because we're starting the courses on May 6th, and they may run like 3 weeks, so I might not be able to go. But if I can, I'll go.
Mm.
But I mean, we'll see.
You got to come to the Florida Man party.
Yeah, well, I'll come to something for sure. If not, then I'll do some kind of like crypto con here in Vegas or something for everybody to show up to. Yeah.
That'd be sick. I'm excited for the events this year. I mean, we got Pulsechain, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, launching at some point. But the Hex events and the Pulsechain events and the meetups happening this year. Like we have local meetups in Washington State too, and we try to meet at least once a month and hang out and do fun stuff and laser tag and go out to dinner and bowling and all that stuff. So I love meeting people in real life. It's pretty cool to hang out.
Got you. So right now, so are you actively buying crypto anymore, or do you kind of like set with the bags and now you're just more making content, or like what? I mean, what are you doing in terms of your capital? Like, how are you allocating yourself?
Good question. I've actually been thinking a lot about it lately, trying to figure out, I mean, as we seem to be much closer than we were before, we have been the last 2 years to things. I've been thinking, okay, with dry powder, where would I put it? When do I put it? Um, the ratio side of it, the bridge part of it when that goes live. A lot of things have been going through. I think that, every new thing that launches, there's always a dip, there's always a dump. When that is, it's anybody's guess, and you can have all the theories. Anybody can come up with a bunch of theories and stuff around that. But I just think that right now, if you weren't buying Hex, 2 or 3 months ago, or 6 months ago, and stuff like that, today, I mean, you're obviously, if it keeps going up, you're not getting the multiples you used to be able to get. But my biggest question is, if you didn't get into Pulsechain or you want more, how do you do that? How do you allocate into that? Do you wait for the dump? Do this is different timing things. What's your time frame, short term, long term? For me, I'm trying to figure that out, and I think looking at liquidity pools, looking at a bunch of indicators I've talked about
Mm,
recently too on stream to figure out when this thing's going live, because that kind of kicks off a lot of other events. I'm just not sure where to put a lot of the dry powder right now. And do you save it? Do you put in a hex right now to get the copies? Do you wait for the dip and Pulsechain and then pull the trigger? Do you allocate 50-50 or something like that to those type of scenarios? I'm not sure but those are some things floating around in my mind. I'd be curious to what you're thinking as well.
I mean, I have an idea for what I'm going to do, but I mean, it's all about there's a dry powder strategy, and then because there's both, right? There's how much liquid hex coin or liquid. No, I should say how much liquid hex ecosystem coins are you going to own versus dry powder when the bridge opens up. to then get in, right? There's kind of like 2 to 3 stages to all this. There's the snapshot, then then it's going live, and then the bridge opening up and stuff. Maybe the bridge opens up right away, but I don't think so personally. I think we kind of like snapshot. We could like, or where's my Thanos gauntlet? It's it is extremely difficult to do an actual. It's really we couldn't do it.
Come on, Iron Man, you got
Chink.
this.
Yeah, there you go. Chink, there you go, right? But, there's 6 tokens in this ecosystem, right? We're missing the MetaMask token right now. It's still not out yet, but eventually we'll have the Richard Heart wallet, phex, hex, Pulsechain, PulseX, incentive token right here. Always forget about that one right there.
You got the PLP pull token, which may or may not be traded. That's kind of insane as well.
Yeah. There's all kinds of cool tokens and stuff. So basically, yeah, there's 6 Richard Heart official like the infinity stones of the Richard Heart ecosystem, and then there is like a holy trinity, or I should say, there's like basically there's some really good allied tokens, like something like a Hedron or the Hedron Icosa thing, and then on some of the pool tokens and stuff with like Maximus DAO and stuff, and then a couple other good like kind of good players, and then there's like these dark triad coins and stuff, which are like Zen, Pulse Doge, some of these other tokens, but like they're going to be part of the ecosystem whether we like it or not, but kind of shadowy a little bit, vampiric.
Let me see if I can call Richard and get some advice here. Richard, you guys can see my 2007 iPhone there.
Yo, that's sick, dude.
3.5 inch phone.
Wait, is that legit? You legitimately using that?
No. I mean, actually, will it work? I'm not sure it'll work, but it'll turn on. I'm not sure if I can make phone calls, but
gotcha.
I thought I'd phone a friend. I'd call Richard Hart and see what he's going to do with. I mean, not that he has any coins or anything, but I think the question that a lot of people may be asking too is, how do you know when to sell, and what percentage? Like, do you sell 30 at a 10x, 100x? Do you sell 30%, and then at 1000x you sell? How do you rationalize stuff like that? Like, how do you think about how do you ladder your sales, or do you just like
at some point there is multiples? I mean, there is multiples and stuff, right? I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, you shouldn't, outside of maybe like a quick. I mean, don't be trading too much. But if someone is trading, right, they're like, you could sell for a good local high and then like buy back down low. That's different from like actually like I'm selling into US dollars permanently, or until the next bottom of the market or something. So, I mean, you really should have a lot of multiple. I mean, like if you don't have like whatever you buy today, I mean, you really should be getting a 10 to 20x multiple before you really think about selling. That's going to be a different thing to a year and a half from now, a year from now. It's like, yeah, 5, it's like it's possible to get 30x's now, right? A year from now, that's not going to be as much in the cards anymore, or maybe it is. Like, I said this on Twitter. This tweet kind of went viral in the X community where I said, just to clarify, $2. I think like the low end for the high on Hex, I think is like $2. That's more of a conservative one, where things kind of line up exactly how I think. We'll probably hit like that $5.56. 56 or 65 cent hex. That's the 100,000 X right there. And then if everything in the world went perfect and stuff like that, exchange listings, movie came out. Influencers started talking about it. I mean, Pulsechain's working flawlessly. We're the second biggest L1. We're basically the second or the third biggest in market cap and stuff. Because if they put us on the market cap sites, they're going to mess with our supply a little bit. I know they are, right? But if that's to our benefit, actually. So if they ever mess with our supply and make us look lower in market cap, that makes us look cheap. That's good.
Well, just to clarify too, when I say sell, that could be borrow, that could be lock up and get liquidity from in some way. If someone asks me like when are you out? When are you getting out of Hex, Pulsechain and stuff? I mean, even just forget about Hex, because that's easy to lock yourself into for a long time. You may want to do that, generational wealth. But for Pulsechain and PulseX, it's like, okay, I know there'll be some locking type products, probably community built ones and stuff like that. But like, I could never see being all the way out, because again, why would you sell your money printers? Why would you sell your generational wealth?
Because you believe in it. There's a lot of people that get into. No, there is a distinction here. That you like. I believe in Hex. I believe in a lot of these other tokens in here, so I won't be selling all my coins. But there is a case to say, like, for Hex, right? I mean, I have a lot of stakes, so a majority of my Hex are still staked out, and I keep grabbing new ones and then putting them out longer and stuff. So, I think originally, my lockup was like 4 years or something like 5. No, it may have been 6 years, and it's now to 9 or so. That's just normal. That's what's going to happen with a lot of people. But I'm really digging in the memory banks here. I'm trying to remember what was my original lock, like what was the average, but I think it was like 5 or 6 years back then. Because like Richard kind of messed up a lot of guys back in the day. He told us like, I don't see much of the point of going out 15 years. 1 to 10 years is totally okay because that's where the bonus maxes out. And I was like, all right, yes sir, all right. And then later on, 6 or 8 months later into Hex, he's like, you know what? I think going out to 15 is not a terrible idea. Like son of a bitch.
Yeah. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
So the two main points on that is, you probably never get that T-share rate again,
Right.
and you collect the emergency and stake fees for another 5 years. I think that's the two reasons why you would do 5 years extra.
Yeah. With chaotic creations, FX, you were late coin. That's how I got sucked into this whole thing because RG didn't want to stream alone. Yeah, basically, shout out to you, man. When you come to Vegas, dude, I want to get you in the studio, man. That's another Hex OG right there. Like Johnny Chaos is a great guy, man.
Shout out to Dr. Chaos.
Yes, man. I got to meet him. I got to meet him finally in person. I think at the. I think we're doing some sort of a mansion party somewhere in like Pulsechain. I can't remember whose party it was though. But
these Hexkins like mansions for some reason. Are Hexkins rich? Is that what's going on?
BitBoy says, "Hey, you make a couple $1 million. I'd like it too." Shout out to BitBoy, man.
And hey, that was one of the vintage clips that I released recently too about BitBoy getting $369 of Hex and it turning into be like 30K or something. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, definitely. And then I think he would have made more, but he sold it. If I remember correctly. Mm. Yeah, he sold it a little early, but he's still like, wow, this turned into a lot of free money. Holy crap. I mean, we're turning people around. I mean, let's be for real. Like I know the Hexagons got a lot of cash, but let's be for real. It was like all this money that was sacrificed. It wasn't all just Hexagons. Like a lot of people missed the ride on Hex because of like how they felt or whatever, right? They read a book by its cover. For this, it's a lot easier for people to understand an L1. Oh, L1 go burr. Oh, I should get into that. Like, and then a lot of these guys have probably, even with malicious thoughts, are like, all these dumb Hexagons and shit. I'll buy their little shitcoin cheap right now and I'll dump it on their fucking loser heads and shit. Ha 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 ha. I mean, that's literally how a lot of these guys think, and hey, thank you for the better. I will say this though: whoever is running the SAC wallet made about, I think my calculations were $8 million from converting stable coins and stuff. But hey, some people are saying like 16, 18 million. But I think they were trying Tether into DAI and then it repegged. Shing. Dude. Made some money there. So we have an extra $8 million of extra liquidity at least for the I would say liquidity pools and all that stuff. We're just supporting the ecosystem, which is awesome.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. Like that's the people or the whoever runs these wallets that haven't moved. Apparently, they don't need it to pay devs or anything. They're just sitting there. We don't know what's going to happen with it yet. But what do you think in the next year or 2 years we'll see moves by the OA or the wallet trustees or whatever you want to like all those different entities are the same or whatever it is, making moves like because they're benevolent whales, they're here to help their Hexagon's best friend, Pulsechain's best friend, all that. What could they do like that wouldn't that would still give them that like kind of integrity thing of never dumping and all that stuff? What do you see happening?
Right. So I think at some point we will get some allocation. There's probably going to be some OTC deals to probably get very larger players at some point, I would imagine, right? I know that they're working right now on a Hex kind of grayscale fund, basically. And I think that's going to be pretty useful to keep it's all locked up 555 stakes or so. They may end up doing 10-year stakes, I'm not sure, but like I'll have to really like dig in with them, but I think it's all 15-year stakes. I think that's going to be an important thing right there. And actually, that's going to be a really interesting sort of place because I think they'll mostly be grabbing either OTC. So some larger players who are trying to dump and stuff like that, like it will take off that selling pressure. Hopefully, there's always an asshole who's going to sell in the market, just market sell, not even stagger it out or LP it or whatever the hell, to get liquidity and stuff. But there's going to be some bigger players because as this stuff gets larger and larger and larger, right, in the price and stuff, it would be cool to have these kind of places. I mean, like even though I don't recommend that exchange, what's called maxi or the first real exchange in a long time to actually list Hex is doing very well. They're doing a lot of purchases in there and stuff like that. I'm not sure if they're market buying right now, but I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody set up there just putting their hex in there and people are buying it and stuff. So that's an interesting one. Once you have these exchanges and stuff, like exchanges will probably make like private deals with people. Just be like, hey, you can get supply here, so you don't get wicked out. Just give me a stable price, and then they're selling it or trading it there, and then it has much less of a negative effect on the market and stuff. Just taking that selling pressure away is incredible. Or if not, if they're just going on the open market, even better, even better. It's like, oh crap, Coinbase is out of hex and stuff. Time to go buy $5 million on the open market.
Yeah.
And then they go sell it on their exchange and stuff. So obviously, I don't think they'll do that craziness, but like at some point, I mean, it's not impossible. Like we will have exchange listings. I think more towards the tail end of the cycle. So I think in like late 20, like maybe like Q1, Q2 of 2025, we'll start seeing a lot of exchange listings. We'll start getting kind of like the B list, C list players probably at the middle of 24 to like late 24 and stuff. So we'll have a little like dominoes fall, and then we'll actually get one major player probably, because I don't think we're going to get all of them, but we may get one major, maybe a Kraken or something. We'll decide, let's get this shit cracking,
Get cracking. I like that. Yeah, I think one thing that a lot of people just don't understand, and maybe they only been here for a year or two, they came in with Pulsechain or otherwise, and they haven't watched Richard and understood his mission, all that for a while. It goes back to delayed gratification. Like everything that happens, you can map it back to hex as a product. You can map waiting for Pulsechain for 2 years. You can chalk that up. I mean, obviously there's some technical stuff changing from BSC and all that stuff too, but just in general, like even me and Dave and Peter were talking last night. Hey, what if the bridge doesn't come in a month? Imagine how many weekends, how many people are going to ratio trade everything away. They can't wait to get out of Pulsechain. And I think that's a feature. I think that's, the dumps, hex price go down. I don't think it's supposed to go
I don't want you to unmonetize my channel, man. Like, stop talking about the Saudis, bro, right now. I mean, you're scaring me.
Oh God. Yeah.
The Saudis.
Yeah.
Oh man. But it's true. Like that's why like we could get in, like there is like, if I had to put a percentage on it, like is the bridge going to be open within the first day? I'd put damn near like a 90% chance no. Absolutely not. But
3 to 30 days.
Man. Yeah, it's within that range though. Yeah, but if it is a month without the bridge, interesting. It's really, really interesting. I don't think enough people have even like. I've heard a lot of people like phex and this and all that, but I'll give you guys a little sauce here, right? This isn't really that crazy, but like think about this. What's going to be the most valuable token on when we so let's just say there's no bridge, right? So we have what? Pulsex, Pulsechain, phex, and then maybe phedron being worth something and something. But let's just talk about the big three, right? phex, Pulsechain, and Pulsex, right? Well, phex is going to be the most valuable token dollar-wise off the rip. Think about it. So let's just say around that time, snapshot-wise, we're probably getting 30 to 40 cents on hex on the snapshot, just off of where the price is right now. I mean, right now we're at 8 cents. Once the snapshot gets a little closer, people are like, oh shit, this thing might launch. Holy crap. We'll hit the 13 cents. And then it'll crack up and stuff like that. So like the worst case, I think personally for the snapshot, because it looks like we're probably going to get like an 8-hour notice, if that. Like I don't think we're getting 24 hours anymore. Like we're just going to, hey, Pulse. Knowing Richard, probably if I had to guesstimate like him, he's probably going to say, hey, imagine it's the middle of your night, and let's, because 00 UTC time, I think on the Pacific, on the West Coast, it might be like 5 p.m. right? So imagine that like it's 2 a.m. He says, we're going to end up having it at 0 UTC time or at this block number, and then it ends up being the 0 UTC time. So we're like, holy shit, we got 18 hours. I mean, the price would pretty much go to 25 cents, like minimum. Not bad, right? 30 cents, but if we had like 3 days, if like Richard said, hey, the snapshot's going to be in 3 days, 3 días. Let me do the German way. 3 days, right? The price would probably get to 40 cents plus. But there's just not like, but he's pretty much kind of hinted that no, it's going to happen at any time. So, and then he's also said, like, I've had a lot of people like, because there's a lot of very misinformed people that said like, there's going to be no snapshot, there's no fork, bro. And then Richard literally said like, oh yeah, the snapshot hasn't happened yet, bros. It's going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So, yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
There's got to be a block height, right? There's got to be something where at a certain point, the fork becomes the fork, and it is another network at some point. So, I want to say though about the ratio trade, and the thing about ratio trading is you can't really dump in ratio trade. Like you can't dump into fiat and get out because there's no bridge. So you got to dump into something. So I wonder where all that, like if you're going to dump your pulse chain, you're going to dump your pulse X, you're going to dump your hex, what are you going to dump it into? Or are you going to dump everything else into
It's a
those
Zen,
and make
baby.
those
Where
ratios go
where
really
else
high?
am I going besides Zen, bro? All in, bro. Come on.
We getting those copies? We getting those copies? Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
That would be some dope shit if Richard says, not Zen.
I would crack
yo,
up. Man,
yo, Richard.
Like, yeah.
Richard, if you're watching, I'll put the word out and stuff to fucking Gary and everybody else and shit. Yo, if that's because like, look, I think Richard said this before. You would probably end up knowing actually the date because you have all the videos. But Richard has said this. Like, how stupid was it for Bitcoin Cash to have you gave all your enemies the weapon to kill you? Like I said this on previous MOONGANGs on Charlie's channel. I've said, hey, what Roger Ver should have done is anyone who had 100 Bitcoin or less would have got the free coins. Like people give a lot of bullshit to like Pulse Doge, but Pulse Doge did the correct thing I think here. They gave the maximum amount of coins to dolphins and the lower tiers, and they cucked out the sharks and dolphins. I mean the sharks and the whales. Yeah, because the sharks and the whales don't need it if they really want to get it, because they're only going to hurt the price. I mean, like, there's certain like very public figures in the Hex community that all they do is dump their fucking tokens and shit. And there's actually some of these tokens are actually decent, like, and they just keep dumping it on the market and stuff. It's just extra liquidity for them. But I mean, it's I guess in the normal sense, it's distributing coin supply over time and stuff. So it's their loss, short-term gains, long-term loss on some of these tokens. But still, like you don't want to give some of these bigger, like, let them buy in. Give them an amount to play around with, sure, but like you want the middle class or like the upper middle class, like where the people that I would say like if this was the U.S. economy, the dolphins are really the small business owner, the actual people who are actually keeping the ecosystem alive, right? The ones with the most skin in the game versus like, but not enough where like they're like they could destroy it and monopolize it. It's a very large group and very powerful, right? As well as the the squids and the turtles. The squids, turtles, and the dolphins are hex. That's the hexagons right there. Like there's like 100 and some change sharks, right? And those 100 and change sharks, half of them are probably double wallets, if I'm being fucking honest. So it's like 40 to 30 dudes, tops, maybe one chick in there. Well, actually, there's two chicks. There's two chicks. I know for a fact. But and then the whales. I mean, they're all dudes. So let's be real. Let's not even joke around about that. Like the whales are like, and the same thing with the whales, right? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like we're talking about like if you add whales and shark wallets, it's like fucking not even 40 people.
Yeah, I mean, I think Richard's focused on onboarding too. I think that's one of his priorities for Pulsechain, and it makes sense that he would. I don't think he'll be excluding communities just because even though we joke it'd be funny if that happened for certain communities that he's talked about not liking or for one reason or another. But I think the growth and like the network effect that he wants Pulsechain to have needs to have everyone in it, as many people as possible. Now, if he blacklists some wallets or whatever, exchanges, blah blah blah, that's like a separate deal. But like as far as communities go and coins, I think it's going to be insane to see the race to which ones have value and I want to see the stats of how many people start using Pulsechain because they had a coin that got copied over. I want to see those top 10 stats.
Some Shibas, baby.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Some Shibas.
The Shibas, yeah.
I really believe it's going to be the Shiba people. I really do, because it's like I've said this before. So Doge, if I had a shitcoin if I had a meme shitcoin portfolio, right, it would be Dogecoin, Shiba, and Bone. Those three tokens, right? This is so ridiculous. Dogecoin is essentially Bitcoin for the meme world. Shiba Inu is essentially their Ethereum, and they have their own L1 now, and they're having Bone Swap and stuff, which is Bone token. That's like their Pulsex. It's fucking hilarious. There's dog money out here, but
dog money everywhere.
But believe it or not, on Twitter, if Elon Musk ends up doing this deal with Signature Bank is the one he's trying to buy, because Signature Bank has.
Is it Silicon Valley Bank?
No, not Silicon Valley Bank. No. Oh, okay, my bad. No, but if they end up doing this deal with Signature Bank, because Signature Bank ended up in the background has this kind of like this instant payments network for exchanges. If they end up doing that, we're probably going to end up getting Bitcoin and Dogecoin tipping payments on Twitter. And what's going to happen is, for people who don't know, Bitcoin is 4 times slower than Ethereum. right? Off the rip, at least in terms of processing and stuff like that. Even though it's empty
Sure.
right now, it would very quickly get bogged down because imagine like, oh shit, I can tip in Bitcoin. All these were like, let me tip you in Satoshis, right? And then eventually it would start clogging up the Bitcoin network pretty quickly. So most people don't know this. Dogecoin runs on Litecoin. It's merge mined. And Litecoin has the same throughput as Ethereum, but because it's empty right now, it's it's empty right now. You would probably what's going to happen is you'll have most people tipping in Dogecoin actually. So Dogecoin's actually there's actually a big boon. Like Doge would actually do very well, I think. But the thing is, there's no development on Dogecoin. So like these community members, I don't think would really like go over to Pulsechain, but the Shiba and you guys will. And it's sort of the second effect when Bitcoin goes up, it drags up the other one, the Ethereum. So basically, if Shiba goes up and stuff, those people get a lot more wealth and money and stuff like that. It starts bringing a lot of like options like, yo, let's start pumping some of these copies and stuff. So I actually think Shiba might not be would probably be a decent community on the Pulse Chain network. I think within 6-8 months of the actual rollout of it.
Believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's 2040. We're on Mars, and we're paying for stuff with Doge because Elon finally hired some devs to get things going again.
Yeah. Now I have a this comment's incredible from a Siggy Hexdust. RHmax, why is your skin so flawless, bro?
I don't, again, I don't do sponsorships. I don't know if I should talk about the brand of my moisturizer, but let's just say that say I take care of myself. Okay, take care of myself, inside, outside. Good. Thank you for the compliment.
You take that so much.
I try to answer every person in chat's question. Okay.
No, I know. I noticed that about you. That's yeah. I try to do the same thing as well. But there is like when I'm doing solo streams, when I'm doing AMAs, like it's just impossible to do so. But I'm really being trying to proactive on answering the most important questions. But then I feel really terrible like answering some questions in the chat when it's like I'm talking to a guest like you, of course, or a guest, because I want to be respectful. I want to. It's this weird kind of balance of like being gracious hosts and stuff, making sure that your whoever's on the stream is talking and getting their points across, but at the same time not ignoring the chat as well. So it's like
exactly. Yeah. A lot of people, man, they just show up and they're like, answer my question, or like they get mad. Like as you mentioned, I try my best to get to once it gets to 200 people, it's flying. I can't do anything about it, but I just try to pick some out. But it's funny, like people be, I asked it in chat or something before. I'm like, man, I'm trying my best, but I can't do it. You just showed up to the stream, and I'm trying to do this, trying to talk to the guests, just as you said. So anyway, I was going to say, it reminded me, I think somebody needs to make the meme of because in Pulse Chain we have beats. I think each the lowest decimal is a beat. So we should have like a beats by Richard instead of beats by Dre.
Beats by Dre. Yeah.
Beats by Richard. I want those headphones, man. I want those heart headphones, like Valentine's Day special.
You actually want to know something really fun? What a small world that references is like. So do you remember we were doing this hex boxing fight? Me and what's his name? Me and Kareem were doing a hex boxing fight and stuff like that, and our guy ended up beating fake Drake.
Oh yeah,
yeah, right. You guys remember that?
That's right. Yeah, that's cool.
Shout out, shout out to shout out to the hex champion and stuff, right? But surprisingly enough, watch this shit. So MK, right? MK's father is the founder of Monster Cables, and he's the one who produced and made all the Beats by Dre headphones.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. So
that's crazy.
And he's won a bunch of awards recently, Oscars and stuff. Basically, he won a lot of awards for being he's a really successful Asian American and stuff like that. So it's like shout out to him and stuff. But yeah, he ended up making like Beats by Dre and manufacturing. He actually had the headphones out and stuff, and then did the deal with Dr. Dre and everything like that. So that's pretty small world, man. Like and they're Hexicans. So staked out, dude, for sure.
I just wanted to say that you don't have to pull it up, but Brandon B just made one. He made the funniest comment in chat so far, and I went on his channel and did the interview the other day, and he introduced me as this book author and this whole thing, and I had him on my show the first time, and he was like, is it okay if I do like this 30-minute Bybit sponsorship in the middle?
Whoa.
But he was like, the whole thing was a joke, and this is the first time I ever met the guy, and I was like, oh my God, is it one of those guys? And then he explained he was kidding, but this guy he's good at jokes. I'll say that. And his comment in the chat about Wuhan was
I mean, I saw you in the lab coat too, bro. I mean
That's me. Had the hat and the necklace back then too. You know, I've been rocking this brand for a while.
Definitely, man. Definitely, man. But you know what? I was gonna talk some shit, but never mind. Forget it. I'll just stop. Like, mine. Yeah, I ain't burnt. Nah, forget it. There's a couple guys I wanted to bitch slap in person, right? And it's just like not because I don't want to. It's just because it's like I'd have to hear these assholes talk for fucking ever, bro. Like I just like there's some people in the Hex community that are not part of the Hex community that's sort of in the Hex community that like they're flip flopping more. They're like they act like they're on the fucking rag. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever, man. Like anyway, yeah. I'll just keep going. So what's your strategy when it comes to validating? Are you going to do multiple validators, one validator? Like, what are you going to try to create sort of like a service, like I think
You
like
trying to dox my bags, bro? No,
yeah, I mean basically yes.
yeah. I mean, if my strategy that's actually a good point because you know I could flippantly say that yeah, of course I want to use as much of my pulse to be about as many validators as I can. That would increase my APY. That would increase you know the earnings based on the different numbers on the network. But also there's a strategy in there that yeah, it's actually a very good question of how do you if you're going to be a validator, you got to dedicate a certain number of pulse to that. We don't know if that pulse can be locked up, whether it's going to come out. You know, Shanghai is still in the air. What we're just going we can have some discussion on that too. But let's say we don't know if it's going to be locked up or it's going to come out immediately. So that's kind of TBD, unknown. Yeah. Right on the validator setup, he's like, you have no expectations when you can unlock this stuff. So maybe Shanghai changes that if we launch at or before that or whenever. So you got to think about okay, if you're going to be a validator and you have enough to be multiple validators, for example, how much do you want to put into that, and how much of a you know opportunity cost is that from what else you're going to do with your pulse?
Right.
Which you know maybe locking it up, maybe you know taking its profit, maybe
LPing or something. You know,
LPing, you know all the different ways to do it. Maybe sending it to a cold wallet and saying GFY for a few years, all that stuff. So yeah, that's actually a good question to drill down into because you are validating, you're helping the network, but how much do you want to do that versus the other ways to make yield versus yeah, what else you can do with your pulse? And that's just the pulse side. And then you got the pulse X side. Again, there may be products, there's some community stuff, Power City, for example, where you can mint stables from it, lock it up, earn all this stuff too. But natively, that's what's so different between Pulsechain and PulseX. Natively, there isn't this time lock deal. That's Hex's thing. So that kind of, and that's actually one of my favorite features. I love Hedron, love HSIs, but I think there's a time and place for them. I don't use them for everything because I like that, you know, save myself from temptation. If I have a moment of weakness, I don't want to lose my retirement back and stuff like that. So
right.
they're very different products.
So how do you use HSIs yourself personally? I mean, you have enough already, and now you're mostly filling in the ladder, or because I know you have to go soon, but how you what do you I mean what like in terms of like are you looking for more HSIs or like what are you trying to do with the whole Hedron side?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I use them more these days. I think I make more of them now because I've kind of got some bags set that you know, my bigger bags and I'm like, good, that's my native stakes. And then HSIs are kind of my play on, okay, do I want to have them to because you know they can appreciate. I can put them on OpenSea or whatever layer. I can or secondary markets. I can
Mintra.
get ICOSA from them. Yeah, I can get ICOSA from them if I need it. Although ICOSA is very volatile, and you know there's a ceiling price and stuff that you know a lot of people. If you make it to HSI today, be careful because it's not like you're going to trade in the next day to get all that money back through ICOSA. It doesn't quite work that way. There's plenty of videos to watch. Cryptographics has some good stuff on that.
Yeah.
So, but HSIs, I think if they're not your, I mean, what I do at least, if they're not my retirement bags, if they're not my something that I want to hold on to no matter what for 5, 10, 15 years, then every other stake, I'm pretty comfortable making HSIs because hey, this is not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to shoot myself in the foot. I can trade them, I can, you know, sell them if I want to, I can recycle them, all that. So I think if they're not your must hang on to no matter what bags, why not make an HSI? That's why I look at it.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, it's a great, and then you get a little Hedron on top of that as well, and you still have it if you decide to borrow on it and stuff. Yeah, interesting. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I like the whole system. I mean, shut up, I like Hedron a lot. It's a really cool. It's a really cool ecosystem. And let me see, where the hell is Hedron at today? I don't even know the price right now. Let's see.
Alex is phenomenal. I mean, this guy is he's one of if not the most, one of the most valuable people in our entire ecosystem. He's building products that have positive price feedback loops. He's building data centers. He may be building Pulsechain validators, plug and play type stuff.
Yeah,
I think he's going to fork Rocket Pool. I mean,
Yep.
this guy is
Yep.
he's a hero.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of a lot of cool stuff. He's like, yeah. So right now the price of Hedron's at 26 right now. Um, Pretty good price. I mean, it really hasn't pumped compared to what, like, I think this one's setting up to do a really big move, um, in the next 2-3 months and stuff. It's going to be one of the tokens that's going to do very well with Snapshot as well. So now, would I recommend having like most of your bag in Hedron versus Hex? No, right? But I think an allocation into Hedron, even at these prices, is very. I think it's a decent idea. It really is. I was banging the drums at 18. So right now, I don't like saying all the zeros because it just sounds bad on camera. So 5 zeros in the 18, or the 5 zeros in the 26. So it's because its all time lowest I think was 2 or 3 basically. And so from here, right, if the price keeps going higher, let's just say it goes to 200, so I'll just say like, let's just say it does a 10x. I'll say it's 260 right now. That's how that's what I'm trying to, until eventually get to the point where like it's a penny, it's it's 10% of when we can start getting into something. We used to do this with Hex a lot of the times when it was fractions of pennies, where like it was so hard to say it on camera. Sometimes it was just like, yeah, so it's like 1% of 1% of a penny right now. It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, those crazy. I remember when it was trading on Bidesk
yeah,
for like 1 Satoshi, 2 Satoshi,
yeah.
and I remember looking at the screen being like, "Is this thing ever? Are we ever going to hit 3 Satoshi?" Like I was like, "Is it ever going to get to 3 Satoshi?
Is it ever gonna
Should I
hit three
start?
Satoshi?
Should I start trading on the Ethereum pair? Like, am I just in the wrong window right now? Like, what is going on? How like?" And then watch the live stream with Richard. He's like, "Well, things are going fine," and I'm like, "Richard, do you understand that it's at 2 Satoshis right now? Like, do something." That was me like 5 years ago, or however long, 4 years ago. So I did not believe in Richard nearly as much until Hex started, price started going up, and I thought, wow, that was validation. You know how to design a product. That's when Pulsechain launched. I was like, dude, let me in. If that thing hits a penny, if Pulsechain ever hits a penny, if PulseX ever hits a penny, if Hedron ever hits a penny, I think we're all rich at that point.
I've said this before, and I've said this multiple times. You are already wealthy, and you don't know it. It's just a fact. Like, you hold long enough, and you hold tokens that survive. But like, I mean, it's very likely. Like, look, this cycle we're probably looking at $8,000 to $12,000 Ethereum, probably a little higher, but in that zone right there, just responsibly, right? But I've done the math before, right? I think I did the math. If Bitcoin's $1,000,000 one day, right? Let's just say Bitcoin 10 years from now is lazily at $1,000,000, and we're like, oh, this thing isn't pumping. It's only moved 50,000 this year. Oh my god, and Bitcoin's lame. We've done the math already. If it's tit for tat, that would put Ethereum at like $64,000 per ETH.
Wow.
$64,000 Ethereum. That's not including any bonuses from being ETH 2.0 and having more locked up supply and having less sell pressure and most people staking their coins and da 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 da. So it could,
Vitalik go to Disneyland.
yeah, Vitalik going to Disneyland and stuff. Um, there's that whole joke with Vitalik. Basically, he's talking to what's called Tom Brady's chick on the date. Giselle, yeah. There's a whole joke that Giselle was actually the one there on a date with him because people saw him on a date and people were like, "No, it's over, you guys. It's fucking over."
Oh wow.
He's into girls now. It's over. But no. But actually, like, if you actually seen like picture of Vitalik's dad, he's like a Chad, bro. He's legitimately Chad. Like,
Wow.
go look at Vitalik's dad. Dude's a giga Chad.
I'm gonna have to. I mean, I believe it. I mean, Vitalik, for in one way or another, is a Giga Chad. I mean, maybe not all aspects of his, everything, but he's a. I don't know. I've seen a lot of pictures, so there's a lot of funny ones.
Yeah, Vitalik is slaying out here, man. Yeah, I think he likes him the Asian varieties. That's all I'll say.
That picture.
Oh yeah. I've only seen him around like of the Asian persuasion. That's all I've seen.
Well, I think that, I mean, that could be. I always assumed that was an anime thing. He
Right.
probably is into that. You saw him on the cliff where he's wearing the purple unicorn thing, and
Right.
I always like to put that in front of Richard. I put him and Richard, like, I like that outfit, and I always compare that with Richard's, amazing Gucci outfits and stuff. And that's a great thumbnail, by the way. That's a fun one.
Right. So, shoot, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? We just started talking about
64K Ethereum.
yeah 60 yeah. So thank you. Yeah, so we're at, if we got $1 million Bitcoin next 10 years, right? maybe in 2033, something like that, right? And we're just like, oh, this Bitcoin thing doesn't move. It's so lame. Oh my god, you have 60. It's more than likely we're probably at $100,000 Ethereum. That's more than likely, but the range is basically 64,000 to about like $103,000 Ethereum. If Ethereum's still in the same place, imagine everything else. That means everything else is doing a 30 to 40x minimum. And we're just like, this shit just sucks. The community's just so poor right now. It's like, I don't know what to do right now. I mean, like the crypto market, I think it's dead, you guys. It's over. Just the market alone just being worth trillions and trillions of dollars. I mean, like that. Like I think if I remember right, every $50,000 on Bitcoin price is $1 trillion. Is $1 trillion of market cap for Bitcoin. So that put us what, $20 trillion. The whole crypto industry right now is barely a trillion. So at that point, we'd have a $20 trillion Bitcoin market cap. We'd probably end up having like 80% of that market cap on Ethereum as well and stuff. So we'd probably either be at 10 to 15 trillion dollars on Ethereum. So we're at that point already. We're already at 35 to 40 trillion dollar market cap, just Bitcoin and Ethereum alone. Not even talking about Pulsechain, Hex, everything else. Like, bro, racks on racks, you guys.
Your trillionaire energy is putting me to sleep right now. You need to step it up. Okay,
oh, man, hit the Pepe. What the hell are we talking about?
Dude, you have one of the sickest intros and like waiting screens I've ever seen. I gotta say,
I appreciate it.
Got me hyped up.
We're updating all the graphics to it pretty soon. So we're working on that right now. So we're gonna have same music and stuff, but it's gonna look a little better and different. I'll just say better, faster, stronger.
It gets the people going for sure.
Definitely, man. But hedge run at 12 cents, lol. I mean, that would put if everything just transported up there. I mean, what would that put a hedge run at? I mean, let me think. I'll do some math on it. Why not? Just for shits and giggles, right?
Quick maths.
So basically, if the price of hedge run is 26, it would put hedge run at 1,040.
Wow.
So it'd do a 40x. That's 10 years from now, but like, so if you held your whatever hedge run you have right now, yeah, it'd be worth 40 times more. If it's still kicking it around and Hex doing that, would put Hex at, well, let's see, current price. Nothing changed. Just do a nice 40x on Hex, the Hex price. Just a simple 40x. Let's put the $3.20. Just chilling. Bored out of our minds.
Easy.
Just bored out of our minds.
I just
not even counting the PX price. Not even counting the PX price. Who cares about that?
You can have the technology and the price appreciation. You can have it. It's called Richard Hart ecosystem. It's here, people.
Yeah. Now I drip out these moon maps carefully because a lot of people can't handle it responsibly. I sell the best uncut hopium in the world, but I have to be careful because people can't handle it. Like if people ask, Miguel, what's the coin with the highest chance of doing the multiple X's? I don't give a fuck if it goes to 0, bro. I can handle it. Here you go. This is what it is. Put a small, and I threw my whole portfolio. Miguel, why hasn't it pumped, bro? It's like, well, dude, it's high risk. It's super high risk shitcoin, bro. Like you don't put your whole portfolio in it. No. I said I wanted to throw with the thing with the most X's, so I threw all my money into that. Why haven't I got the X's? Well, bro, you're supposed to put like a 5% or 1% allocation if you like. It's a scratcher play, bro. Like.
Just wait 2 years. Wait 2 years and thank me later.
Yeah. Like so we're being careful. We're being careful with the hopium, but it's good out here, man. But you still going on time?
Yeah, I got a few more minutes.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. So what haven't we talked about in terms of Pulsechain? So I mean, we've gone a little bit over like some of the ratio tradings and stuff like that. So
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, what's the MVP look like to you? Like, what do we need? I mean, buy and burn for Pulsex done, validators actually working, like Amen bot, like thumbs up. Like, what is your MVP for launch?
I mean, the theme right now is May, but I'd probably put it at June or July for the launch because we just barely got V3 out, right? So we need a month to find bugs, need another month to fix bugs, and then we need another month to clean up the UI. Because there's still some glitches here and there and stuff. Like you need the thing to run really perfectly. Like the thing that's really sad about this, but it has put us like whatever Richard launches is to a very high standard, right? So like if there's anything wrong with it, like the pariahs are at the door basically, right? So we everything that he launches has to be very, very perfect. It's not going to be perfect, right? But it has to be. So just working on some of those bug issues, making sure APYs work out. I know a lot of the APYs are kind of scratched off the screens. You can't even tell how much yield you can be earning. But
Yeah,
on the
if Richard's still asking for feedback on parameters, then we're not launching tomorrow.
yeah, right. So basically, I would say like June. June would probably be the earliest, I think. And a lot of that also, there's also market timing with it too, right? So supposedly the Federal Reserve is going to do one more interest rate increase. I think we have 2 to 3 personally. So we're gonna have, because they're so scared right now what's going on with the banking sector. It's going to be a 25, 25, 25 done. So that'll put us at basically 5.5 or 5.25 depending on where they're stopping right now. So if they do one more, we're at 5% federal fund rate. That's not including all the extra VIGs that they put on top of the banks and stuff when they lend you money and stuff, right? So that means for a house, I mean, dude, like we're soon enough going to probably have 10% interest rates on houses to get a mortgage for 30-year fix.
Wow.
Maybe 9 if you got really great credit, but like that's where we're heading. Like it's that crazy right now. And so, we were at basically zero beforehand, right? We're at zero, so we had like what 3%. Some people were able to do adjustable rate mortgages, and they were able to get them for like 1.97 back in the day, 1.87, and terrible idea. I mean, like one of the best advice is like even my parents got and stuff from like a real estate agent and stuff from back in the day, and we had people that owned tons of real estate. It's like Miguel, because my dad's name is Miguel. Miguel, Miguel. Don't mess around with that balloon bullshit, or then get a 30-year fixed mortgage. 30-year, like grandma made it, 30-year fixed, 30-year fixed, 30-year fixed, get the rates low and stuff like that. And then it saved a lot of people's asses. And so it really did. Like my parents would have lost their house. Because, I mean, we almost lost a house because the economy, back in 2000, the housing crash in 2006, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we almost lost our house. And what saved our ass is basically at least our mortgage payment on my parents' house didn't balloon up. We had a lot of friends and family that they selected the wrong type of loan on that, and they lost their house. And then since they lost their house, they lost everything else, the business and everything. They went from like being business owners to being employees, right? So
Don't wish that on anyone.
yeah. No, exactly. Heximove, 13% interest in 30 years was normal in the 80s. But here's the caveat: the price on the home was lower. So this is what I've been saying for a long time. I said this on, I think I said this on Fresh and Fit, and everyone kind of got like a knee jerk reaction. I was like, all right, Miguel, yeah, good, you're a crypto bro, don't worry. Yeah. But I said, real estate, we probably topped out and I said this to Myron recently as well in person. I told him like, you're more likely to call or to know like things are too hot in the crypto market. And because it's like he's really deep into real estate, so I like he knows his real estate really well. So when you're so like you won't see the trees for the forest,
yeah,
right? So I'm like I have real estate, but I'm not. It's not my main vocation, right? I'm not doing that full time, right? It's just more of like homes and like maybe a passive investment here. But for them, like they're YouTubing and then they have like the real estate business, so. A lot of guys in the real estate space completely they thought it was just going to keep going and going forever, right? The guys in the crypto space, since we got hit first, we were real estate's topped out, you guys. But real estate takes such a long time. Like if you punch real estate in the face, it's like it's a slow mo as it falls, right? So like that recent little crash we had in the bond market and stuff like that. That's just basically because 6 to 8 months ago, that was when they did the first 75 basis point increase. It takes, when you do a major increase to the federal fund rate, it takes about 6 to 8 months, 6 to 9 months for it to actually start affecting the market and stuff. So the shutterings we're getting now is because those knock-on effects are starting to hit now in the market. So I've been saying this for a while that we're probably like Q1 of 2024 might be the real estate bottom to like middle of 24. So we basically we're going to be in a bull market in the crypto space. And then once the brakes are let off, so by the middle of 24, the brakes are off. And then real estate stops being a drag on the market, but we're probably still seeing another. Depending on the market, I think Miami's going to hold out the best out of every market in the United States. But a lot of markets are going to continue to go down. Like we should honestly, with all the interest rate increases we've had, we probably should see a 25% decrease in prices. I hope. In some of the crazy markets like Vegas, you probably could get that, but in some more traditional markets, we might see just 10% extra and stuff. But it's crazy. Like for the interest rate, the higher it goes, like every quarter, every 25 basis point of increase, you can buy $50,000 less of a house.
Wow.
It's that crazy.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
and let me put another statistic for you, right? The average mortgage payment in America is $2,600, right?
Mhm.
$2,600. If you follow the traditional rule, it should be only one third of your income and stuff in terms of income and stuff like that. It's just you can afford your house. Basically, the average income in America is what, 55,000, maybe 44,000, somewhere in that range, depending on where you're living and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, for you to afford that mortgage, you have to be earning $96,000 a year, but the average income is 50 G's,
I
right?
don't think the math works out on that. Yeah.
It doesn't work out on that. Now, people, there's two income households, and that's where it bridges
Sure.
into it itself a little bit. But still, that doesn't work out and stuff. So imagine that, like, with all these interest rate increases, how much more you can buy so much less house right now. That's why, like, you've had, like, off of the once the Fed did that first 75, you had a 50% decline in people showing up to open houses in America. Like, I think the one thing that everyone's talking about, the banking sector, people aren't talking about the real estate sector. And we're not gonna have like a 2008 crisis, because we didn't do that, right? This was a money printing, financialized assets going up sort of thing. It wasn't just a real estate thing, but real estate's going to be a big drag on the economy for a while. So yeah.
You still think later this year we get the pump in crypto?
Yeah, we still do. I think we're getting it right now. I think we're gonna still pump into the summer. We're gonna do. I think we're gonna hit, like, if we're lucky, we hit somewhere in the mid 40s for Bitcoin, and then we get a nice 40% correction.
Is that what you think, Richard? Is I don't think he's been timing it for 2 years, but I think
No,
if
no,
there's a local cherry on top timing
yeah,
that's convenient for Pulsechain launch, you think he's trying to do that?
yeah. We want calm waters, and then we want winter our sales. So if Ethereum and Bitcoin are going up, it's a wealth effect. People, if your assets are increasing in value, why not? I'll gamble a little bit. Let's try this Pulsechain shit out. Let's see how it works. And this money flows into the system. Versus if we had launched Pulsechain during during the 3 Arrows Capital drop, or we launched it during Luna collapse, or we launched it when FTX collapsed. Dude, 2022 was a crazy year, bro.
Yeah.
That was a crazy year, but it's not very easy right now. So it's interesting. So even though on paper, so like people who bought the housing top, but bought at that interest rate being at zero, basically, there's like because like that, like even though it's leverage, it's a very interesting sort of leverage because it has terms, right? If you got a 30-year fixed mortgage, even at the top of the market, your mortgage payment is lower than buying it today. So
Mm.
imagine you have a $900,000 house, because a lot of the houses in here in Vegas kind of topped out around 900 grand. Right now they're at like 780 right now for nice areas here in Vegas, right? So that mortgage payment. So if me buying 900,000, let's just buy $1 million house here in Vegas at 3%, 4%, locked it in for 30 years. My mortgage payment is lower than if I try to get a house today at a $700,000 house. So it's all about.
Crazy.
So if you can you can get into the house, and it's like that payment. I know I can afford that very easily. You're totally fine. It doesn't matter the because you're either buying a house for utility or gains, right? If most people are buying their house because I need a place to have my kids, or I think this is a great area. I'm gonna live here for a long time. It's a utility, and that's worth it for you, right? But a lot of people play the real estate game trying to get appreciation. I always thought it was really stupid trying to get like crazy amount of appreciation on a house and stuff. That's not really how you get rich and stuff. You would do that more on multifamilies and stuff, where like you're trying to get appreciation, or you can increase rents or something.
Yeah.
I just recently had Jay Waller in the studio about a week ago or so, and he just bought himself a mobile home park. 40 unit and stuff. He's making like what, 11 cap, so he's making 11% a year on that, and then he's
Wow.
fixing it up, and he's building 10 more rooms for 10 more RV, for 10 more for 10 more slots for units and stuff like that. So he's not only is he making 11% cash on hand on that and stuff, then on top of that he's increasing his bottom line with the extra. Basically, he's increasing his revenue at 25 extra percent by doing additions and upgrades to it. Like, that's different, versus like, I'm gonna buy this house right here at the top. I'm gonna buy this house right now, and I hope it doubles in price. It's not gonna double in price in like yeah. But anyway, I'm just talking shit. Sorry.
No, amazing. I just imagine Jay Waller like walking around with a baseball bat asking people to pay rent. That would be hilarious.
Oh, they pay. I
But
mean,
no,
it's
that's
yeah, it's because people. I mean, honestly, I mean, if outside of the stigmatism of like, oh, that I live in a trailer park, a lot of these trailers are actually very nice.
yeah.
It's very nice. It doesn't cost that much, because if you own it outright, right, they're probably paying $300 a month. That's it. or $500 if you got like you got the water linked into utilities and stuff. It's not terrible. I mean, it all depends. You know, it's like there's also this crazy thing too of like for most of human history we have lived with other generations. You know, it is a sort of a weird thing. Like most times, like your mom and dad would live with you, your kids, and you have you'd have this family structure. This is really normal. This is really normal across most of the world. It's just we've made it very weird now. In the last 100 maybe 150 years that like you have to have your own place. I mean, it's people have lived together for a long time and stuff. So it's I don't know. Maybe we're reverting back to how it used to be back in the day. I don't know.
See?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we just shouldn't go in the direction of they'll own everything and we'll own nothing. As long as we don't go that direction, I think multi-generation, if it's it can be. There's a lot of healthy things about it.
Yeah. Crypto honestly said I'm dealing with Section 8. I wouldn't do Section 8. 8 more ACs, 16 more sinks, pain in the fucking ass. Yeah, this is why, like, one thing I would say where Grant Cardone was pretty smart on this, he focused mostly on the one step above Section 8. So he focused on a lot of rents that were like $1,200, $1,800, $1,200 to $1,600 rent because he said there's people, the next, like the people from Section 8 who are trying to upgrade, they're going to land on there, and people who are up here paying $3,000, $4,000 a month fall into this range. So he kind of picked that sort of range being like it's sort of like why like Dollar Tree keeps growing and growing in stores and stuff, Dollar General and all that stuff, is because if people are falling out of the middle class, you can catch them there on the up and the lower middle right there, or the higher poor. I don't know, these ranks sound so dark to even say that shit. It just sounds so weird saying lower middle class, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah. But anyway, man, yeah, real estate bottom, you guys. Hey, make sure you buy it if you want to buy a house. Not a terrible. You make some nice crypto gains this year. I'm personally going to sell some of my crypto. Not a crazy amount, maybe like 20% at most, and then rebuy back once we kind of bottom out, you know. And then from there, I'm not really selling any crypto for pretty much like until like the market top, basically. And I think this is kind of off to the question you were telling me earlier, like how much would you sell and stuff. Like I would always keep 20%, 30% of my bags just not selling, no matter what. It doesn't matter, right? But you know, I was able to grow my bags quite significantly from buying the bottoms in the market. You know, I got into cash and then I just rebought back in the bottoms here. But yeah, man, I mean, what's your plan? Are you planning to just? You're still like kind of figuring it out right now?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at my dry powder, I'm looking at my bags, the way things are set up. I feel like I'm in a good position right now, going into launch, going into the macro conditions this year that you know we all try to speculate on. It's hard to say when the next war will happen or otherwise, but yeah, I'm still looking for deals. Although I could also see you know, maybe there's another leg down, but I'm ready to take advantage of opportunities. I think that's the biggest thing. I'm looking for opportunities, have dry powder, and also bags are packed. So I feel like I've been the best position I've been in for the last year or two. I think I feel like I feel pretty good right now.
I mean, were you able to take some profits in the last all-time high for Hex and stuff? And I mean, you don't have to answer this, you know, if you don't want to, but I always like asking guests, kind of like, so on the last cycle, did you manage? I mean, did you manage like to pay off things, or is this cycle more or less the time where you're gonna like pay off the house or get like? Because I tell everyone, do not use credit cards are the fucking devil, dude.
Yeah,
I'd rather you take a fucking personal loan than a credit card any day of the week, dude. Like because most people, like the minute that credit card's over $5,000, $10,000, people can't pay them off anymore. Like you're just paying the minimum payments forever on that. It's such a trap, dude. It's like, and it's crazy. Warren Buffett ends up like he makes a lot of money off of credit cards and stuff. You know, yeah. I mean, I get it for businesses and stuff like if you're just using it for points and you can pay it off at the end of the month every year, sure. But most people, you know, you have a bad month or two in like a small business and stuff. Those credit card bills start racking up and stuff like that, and you can't pay them off. Like you just can't. Like, you know, what is it, $10,000 if you own a credit card? What is that like? I think like $600, $500 minimum payment. That's a car note.
That's crazy.
That's
yeah,
crazy, dude. And you're just paying interest off. You're not even paying the principal never goes down. So it's like, oh wow, I really killed it this month. Let me put 1,000 on the card. You only subtracted the balance by $400 fucking dollars.
Wow.
So if you guys, for the love of God, when you guys make some money this cycle, pay off those credit cards. Keep them open for your credit and stuff. But like, first fucking thing I did when I made some cash, dude, I paid off every credit card I had. I paid off my car. I paid off my cars. I just didn't. I was like, I'm tired of payments. Like I was in the rat race along with everyone else. A lot of people, even in the chat right now, were still in the rat race. I was like, I made sure I paid. I didn't have a mortgage at the time, but I paid all my cars off. I think I still owed a little bit on a truck, like a work truck, and I paid everything off. I mean, I paid 2 years of my cell phone bill because I didn't even want to deal with cell phones. I'm done with these payments crap. And the minute that happened, I just started getting richer and richer and richer and richer and richer because you have all this disposable cash and you start making these long-term decisions for the best of it. And the thing is these payments destroy your cash flow.
Your mindset too. You start going from a scarcity to an abundance mindset. You start thinking about the future. Yeah, I could see you like let me pay 5 years worth of utility bills right now, stuff like that. It's yeah, I mean, I don't talk about specifics about my bags too much, but I'll say that definitely I've been fortunate enough to do some real life things with gains and otherwise. So
that's beautiful, man.
It's I mean, you got to. The point of crypto isn't to Scrooge McDuck and just look at your thing. I mean, maybe that's Godwell's deal, and that's cool. To each their own. We're happy about that. Shout out to Godwell and all the benevolent laws in our ecosystem. But if you can take that, and you don't have to get out, but if you're able to take some profits, turn it into things that help your family, help your friends, help you live a better life. I mean, if you're not doing that, you're kind of missing the point. You don't have to screw everybody over in the meantime. If you're a market maker, you can be gentle, you can do LP and stuff like that. But yeah, you gotta. I mean, everyone values different stuff, but you gotta turn it into something good.
I mean, I'll tell you now. Yeah, there is that whole thing where like the exceptions don't make the rule, right? There is people like having crazy, like you're right. Maybe Godwell, like I don't give a fuck, man. It's all about the number, baby. I want higher numbers, right? I want trillions. But and I think Godwell is a good person. But
high scores. I mean, the status thing, that's fine too. As long as you're not selling, do the status thing.
So there's 2 streams I'm planning to do in the future, right? This one's a little more far, so 3 actually. So I'm going to have Robert Kiyosaki on relatively soonish, right? Hopefully I can get him in before the course and stuff, but it might be in the summer. But like we're gonna have Robert Kiyosaki on. 2, I'm gonna have Rollo Tomasi on, and we're gonna go over something called the social sexual hierarchy. It's a video. It's an older video and stuff, but it basically explains like you know how you've heard of alpha and beta, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's not really the real terms. Like there's a more like intricate sort of distinction. There's like it's alpha, beta, delta, gamma, and then like fucking like spurgs, real spurgs, right? But most of the societies are deltas, right? And that's not like like people like, oh, I'm a beta. In that's the beta is just essentially like the guys that hang around the alpha and like the alpha's best friends. They actually the alpha the betas live a very good life in this hierarchy of when it comes to social sexual hierarchy, right? But most of society is betas, right? Or is deltas, and basically hardworking normal guys, and most people they just want a family. Now the alpha, maybe the betas could just, because they're a very small set of the population, they may choose to just live crazy lives, never get married, never have kids, but most people want kids, right? So I mean, there's nothing wrong with having kids. Alpha have kids, betas have kids and shit, but it's just like it's just a distinction of like it's gonna be a really interesting stream to talk to Rollo Tomasi about that, because he's like the foremost expert on all this shit and wrote the Bible of it basically. So to get his take on that and just having the crypto sense of that, and look, the reason I got into crypto is because I wanted to multiply my money so I can do stuff with my life. I wanted to expand my business, but at the end of the day, I wanted to like have money for my family. I wanted to be able to retire my mom and dad. I wanted to and we're doing those things, That's what it's there. Like this money's a tool, right? But there's a lot of people not having families, and I think the Hexicans are going to be above average in that sense of having kids. I think that's beautiful, because it's like if all these ugly minded people, not by like their face, but like their minds are ugly, or the way they think is ugly. They're not having kids. Well, they'll be bred out of the fucking gene pool, and that's facts.
Yeah, I mean.
That's a fact.
I think everyone's baseline highest calling could be to buy your own freedom. Get rich enough to buy your own freedom, to figure out what you want to do, and retire your parents, man. Like especially if you have a good relationship and stuff. Like why not? Like at least do those couple things. Like buy your freedom. Don't need to work anymore. Don't need to have a boss. Go figure out what you want to do. Be your own boss, or sit on the beach all day. Whatever it is. But you got to have money to do that. Unless you just you can be a monk. What does Naval talks about? You can be a monk, you can do something, you can work, have a job or work where it feels like play, doesn't feel like work anymore. or you can get rich enough to buy your freedom, essentially.
Right.
So everyone's highest calling baseline should be something like that, and you can do it.
Yeah, and I think most of you guys are good people and stuff. You're in the chat right now. You're focused on your finances. I think you guys are responsible enough over time to have some kids, right? Like, I think everyone in this chat should have 3 kids, minimum. And like, let me explain this as an economist, right? Shout out to Cappy. One to replace you, one to replace your wife, and one for the economy. Let me tell you this right now. Of all the Ponzi's in the world, there's something called the population Ponzi. That's the underlying thing that controls everything. If the economy's awesome, if the United States' birth rate was 3.1, 3.3, that means the average person's having 3 to 4 kids. We'd be rocking. The economy would be like
a lot of freedom, bro.
Wrong, son. But right now we're barely at maintenance. We're at 2. We're in 1.9, and we've got the highest birth rate in the developed world. Right. So, hey, if everyone else is not having kids and we have 2 to 3, we'll outbreed them and we'll out control. I mean, how are you going to change the world, right? The kids are the future. And it's a lot of responsibility and stuff like that, of course, right? And there's a lot of people that shouldn't be having kids, right? But it is a sort of thing like you need kids for the future. It is what it is, right?
I think it's a lot of people. I mean, for me, it's like, do you like yourself? Do you think you want to do good things? You think you could teach other people to do those and can carry on the economy and everything else? Do you want to help the country? It seems like you want to have kids if you want to do those types of things.
Yeah. What is people? Someone's talking about cashing out a lot of money. It's not that hard. You can cash out millions out into the bank, dude. That's not a problem. You just gotta pay your fucking taxes. Pay your taxes and disclose you're doing that stuff. If you're just, I think we've had a report on crypto since I think 2020. We had to say, do you have crypto? Yes. 2021 was the first year you actually had to pay taxes. You just say like the wallets and stuff like that, stop tax dodging and shit, and just pay your taxes. It sucks ass, I know, but
people sell houses for millions of dollars and get deposits in the bank account for millions of dollars when that happens. So maybe give them a call or something, but a windfall amount of a bunch of money into your bank account. I don't. I not any kind of advisor. Check with your people on that, but it seems like people do it a lot.
Yeah, and there's one more thing too. I know this has nothing to do with crypto. This has to do with the red pill. But there's a lot. The one thing I would disagree with people in the red pill is like there's a lot of guys in the red pill that are like, these girls ain't worth shit, bro. They're not. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, bro. It isn't worth having kids. Then fucking get bread out of the gene pool, motherfucker. Bye. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, I think that's one of the dumbest shits I've ever heard. Like, and this is coming from red. I feel like this is like the black pillars still like having some influence in the red pill community and stuff. It's like these women ain't worth shit or whatever. Like, that's a lie, bro. It's a lie, dude. All women are the same. I've said this before, and this is not popular, but all women are trife. They're all the same. It's the man that changes them up and shit. At the end of the day. Now, sure, like the Western women and all that. I mean, there sure is fuck no, dude. But it's like, what, are you not going to have kids?
Kind of like the people who are against longevity research or anti-aging or they're pro-death, as I affectionately call them. Yeah. It's like, if you don't have to take the pill, you don't have to do the therapies. You're still going to be in control of your own life. Just don't make it worse on everyone else, right? Don't set us back for everyone else.
And if you got a passport, bro, to get your wife, go for it, bro. I don't care. And if the bitch ends up leaving you or whatever, man, just rug her, take the kids and stuff, and you'll raise them better anyway. So it's like, but the thing is that you pass your genes away. If we're talking about, if we're going real dark down, I mean, if we're off road, we're really in the rocky part right now, of the conversation. But
getting primitive there.
Yeah, but have kids, you guys. But anyway,
PSA, have kids.
PSA, have kids, man. I'm serious. Like, I mean, sure, have them at the right time, but it's never the right time to have kids. I've talked to so many people who have kids. They always tell me it was never the right time. It's never the perfect time. It's like, oh, right, my life's so beautiful. I'm so zenned out. I'm so zenned out right now about life and stuff. I'm making plenty of money. I'm so stress free. Let's have some kids, darling. It's just like, honey, I'm pregnant, or like you guys are trying to have kids, or like I know tons of people that they're trying to have kids. Like great people, they can't get pregnant, bro. That's so real, dude. Isn't that like, I find that's one of the deepest tragedies in the world. Some of the people that would be the greatest parents in the world can't have kids. Ain't that some shit? No. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
But anyway, man, that shit got a little too deep. Sorry.
No. It's Pulsechain.com.
Pulsechain.com, yes, sir. Hex.com, sir. So RHmax, where can people follow you, man?
I am on Twitter at RHmaximalist, just the way it sounds. On YouTube, RHmax, at RHmax. and actually RHmax on all social media platforms. And yeah, Twitter's at RHmax. That's my channel. That's my show, and I've been streaming a lot of clips, daily stuff, a lot of content coming out. 2 years of Richard Hart vintage clips. That was a new project. So if you like Richard Hart stuff and you like Pulsechain and Hex and projects around that, I talk about a lot of that stuff in detail, technical stuff and life stuff, wealth, health, mindset, mad gains, all that good stuff.
Beautiful. And I will have, he is, all his links to all his channels, YouTube channel, Twitter, and Instagram are linked below in the description box. And yeah, man, when's your next stream? When are you having the next stream, dude?
Ooh, good question. So it's going to be Monday. I had to move it because I've been doing security AMAs as well, talk about hardware wallets, talk about how not to get hacked and all that stuff like that. You know, off the top of my head, it's got to be Wednesday. I don't remember who I'm having on, but I'm sure it'll be a good show.
He's in the chat crying right now, punching the air.
I know. Every time I forget who it is, I try. You know, at the end of the show, I'm like, oh, catch me on Tuesday with. Oh crap, I forgot their name again. Yeah, I stream a lot. Forgive me.
Yeah. Let me tell you this, that's a real thing. Like, you literally can stream so much that you just forget things. You just do. You just know it's like, oh wait. Like, what bugs me out is when I'm streaming a lot is just like, why do I have free time right now? Did I forget something? Like,
yeah, it's kind of crazy when you're not streaming. You're like, should I do just a? I'll do a solo. Let's do it. I feel like I should do something right now. Yeah, I feel that too.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will be streaming tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to be doing two streams tomorrow. I'm doing my first in Spanish stream on my channel. So I'm doing awesome. En español. Voy a hablar de crypto. The shitty thing about this stream is going to be is like these crypto words do not translate into Spanish at all. Yeah. There's no translation. Like cryptocurrency, crypto. I mean, like what? Like if everyone just puts a fucking. Somebody's just saying it in English. Let's just be for real. But like it's going to be mostly in Spanish. And yeah, I'm essentially starting to like I'm starting up an entire Spanish crew. They're gonna have a separate channel and everything like that, and then we're gonna start educating people in the Latin world in Spanish and stuff.
There's a lot of people speak Spanish, Portuguese in that area. You know, a long time ago, a lot of stuff happened, and there's a lot of people that grew out of that as their main language. So a lot of people who can do crypto speak Spanish for sure.
Definitely. So I'm gonna be doing that one at let me get the time right. Whew, I'm doing a lot of streams. I'm doing a lot of stuff tomorrow. So basically, I think we're doing that. I think at 2 p.m. tomorrow Pacific Standard Time, and then from there we are doing MOONGANG at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Charlie from Cultivate Crypto's channel and stuff like that. As well as make sure to share the screen for 1 second to join up to the Crypto Mindset Q2. It's coming out soon. You guys leave your email address out here. April 21st, the emails go out. You have 5 days to get in, and if you don't, you're gonna be poor. Sorry. That's just it. And classes start May 6th at 7 p.m. Like, we weren't crazy enough to start in May 5th. Like, we were going to start in May 5th, and we're like, that's Cinco de Mayo. What do we, like, everyone's going to be hung over alcohol. So we decided, hey, okay, we'll start it May 6th in the afternoon. And that way everyone wakes up from the hangover, has a beer and stuff, michelada, you know, wakes up a little hair of the dog, and is ready to start
launches, and then, wow, everything's different now.
I will say this, though. If Pulsechain launches in the middle of the course, we have said this before, and we'll say it right now. We are going to pause the course and just do nothing but Pulsechain content and stuff for all the guys who are in the Crypto Mindset courses and the Citadel as well. So represent, man. Respect. But thank you so much for joining me, and I'll check you guys out tomorrow, man. Peace.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem, dude.